The colony of New Dawn sat quietly on the edge of the Milky Way. It was not a place of great power or wealth, only a growing settlement where humans farmed, mined, and traded. Ships came and went, carrying supplies, technology, and sometimes visitors, but never before had such a visitor arrived, an alien noblewoman escorted by a fleet of shining ships. The morning she arrived, the entire colony gathered near the landing zone. Farmers, miners, engineers, children, everyone came to see. The sky above was filled with silver arcs as her escort descended. The colony governor, Elias Ward, stood at the front, dressed in his cleanest uniform. He had met aliens before, but none like this. The woman's reputation had reached even this distant world. Her name was Lady Serenia of the Kalori Dominion. The Kalori were old, proud, and often arrogant. They ruled dozens of systems and rarely spoke to humans except through trade agreements. For someone of her rank to come here to a small human colony was unthinkable. The ships landed with smooth precision. Out came armored guards, tall and elegant, their armor glowing faintly as if woven with light. Then she stepped forward. Lady Serenia was unlike any human had ever seen. Her skin shimmered faintly like polished stone, her long silver hair flowing like liquid metal. Her eyes glowed faintly gold, sharp and full of command. She wore robes woven with thin strands of crystal, and every step seemed to hum with grace. The crowd fell silent. Children hid behind parents. Even the governor felt small before her presence. But then she spoke, and her voice was not harsh or commanding. It was clear, smooth, and filled with a strange warmth. "I come before you with respect," she said. "I am Serenia, daughter of the Kalori Dominion, bearer of the Starlight Crest. I did not travel here for trade nor for politics. I have come for one thing." The crowd leaned in. The governor straightened, expecting her to demand resources, land, or technology. Instead, she said, "I want a human." The words cut through the air like a blade. For a long moment, no one spoke. Farmers blinked in confusion. Traders exchanged looks. Children whispered. And then the voices rose. "A human? What does she mean? Take a human? For what? Is this slavery? Is this a trick?" Governor Elias lifted his hand, calling for silence, though his own heart raced. "Lady Serenia," he said carefully, "forgive my bluntness, but your words surprise us. What do you mean you want a human?" Her golden eyes met his, calm and steady. "I want not just any human," she replied. "I want one who is strong in spirit, clever in mind, and loyal in heart. I did not travel across the stars for riches or weapons. I came to meet such a one." Her words spread through the crowd like fire. Murmurs grew louder. Suspicion, fear, even laughter. Some thought it was a test. Others thought it was madness. Why would a great alien noble lower herself to ask for a human? Governor Elias felt sweat on his brow. He tried to stay calm, for the eyes of both his people and her guards were on him. "May I ask," he said, "why you make such a request? Surely the Kalori do not lack for skilled warriors or wise advisors." For the first time, Serenia's calm face flickered. Not weakness, but something like hesitation. She folded her hands before her. "The answer will come, but not today. Today I ask only this. Allow me to meet your people. Allow me to see if among them is the human I seek." The governor hesitated. He wanted to refuse. He wanted to send her back to her shining ships and let the galaxy's politics stay far from New Dawn. But he saw her eyes, steady, firm, and not to be denied. And behind her, the guards stood silent, their weapons glowing faintly. This was no request he could easily ignore. Finally, he nodded. "Very well," he said. "But know this, Lady Serenia, humans are free here. No one is taken against their will. If you wish to meet them, you may, but no one is forced to follow you." A faint smile touched her lips. "That is all I ask." That night, the colony buzzed with rumors. In taverns, workshops, and homes, people argued. Why would she want a human? Maybe it's an experiment, or a trap. The Kalori always look down on us. Maybe she's lonely, someone joked, earning laughter and then uneasy silence. Children played games pretending to be chosen by the alien woman, while parents scolded them to stay away. Traders whispered about selling the story to news networks. The governor sat in his office, rubbing his forehead, wondering how this would end. And above, in the Kalori ship, Serenia stood by a wide window, staring at the stars. Her guards stood silently behind her, waiting. She spoke softly, almost to herself. "They do not understand," she said. "Not yet, but they will." Her voice carried both sadness and hope. The next day, Serenia asked to walk among the people. Guards surrounded her as she strolled through the colony. Everywhere she went, people stopped and stared. Some bowed awkwardly, others avoided her gaze. Children peeked from behind doors. She spoke kindly to all, asking simple questions. What is your work? What do you love? What do you fear? Her golden eyes studied every face, as if searching for something hidden. And always she asked, do you know one among you who is brave, clever, and loyal? No one could answer. Some pointed to soldiers, others to scientists, others to miners who had saved lives in accidents. But none felt right to her. She shook her head gently each time. By evening she had met hundreds, but she was not satisfied. She turned to the governor. There is one I must see, she said. I heard whispers of a man who fixes machines no one else can. A man who never boasts but whose hands save lives. Bring me this human. The governor frowned. He knew who she meant. A mechanic named Daniel Cross, quiet, ordinary, often overlooked. Why would she ask for him? He almost refused. But her golden eyes left no room for denial. So he sent for Daniel. And as the sun set on new dawn, the simple engineer walked toward the place where the alien noblewoman waited. The crowd gathered once more, holding their breath. The air was heavy with questions. Why him? Why a human? What truth lay behind her request? Lady Serenia stood tall as Daniel approached, her gaze locked on him. She whispered softly, a word only she could hear. At last. Daniel Cross wiped grease from his hands as he walked through the colony streets. He had been called by the governor to meet a visitor, but the words of the messenger had been strange. The alien noblewoman wants to see you. At first, Daniel laughed. Him? A simple engineer who spent his days repairing mining bots and farm machines? He was quiet, practical, and not one for attention, yet curiosity gnawed at him. He had heard of the Kalori, the noble alien race that looked down on humans, often with contempt. Why would one of them seek him out? By the time he reached the landing zone, a small crowd had gathered. Whispers followed him. It's him, someone said. The mechanic she wants. Another voice added, why would she want a human like him? Daniel's heart beat faster, but he kept his head high. He had always believed in doing his work honestly, without worrying about fame or judgment. But standing here now with the golden light of her ship reflecting across the metal walls, he felt a strange mix of awe and fear. Lady Serenia waited near the edge of the landing platform. She had removed her gloves, letting her crystal-like robes shimmer freely in the sunlight. Her eyes, bright golden and alert, watched him carefully. Daniel felt as if she could see inside him, reading thoughts he had never spoken aloud. Daniel Cross? She asked, her voice calm but firm. He nodded. Yes, that's me. I have heard much about you, Serenia said. Your hands save lives, your mind solves problems, and yet you claim no glory. That is rare, Daniel blinked. He had never considered himself special. I just fix things, he said. It's not anything important. Serenia tilted her head, studying him. Many would call it simple. Yet simplicity often hides great skill. That is what I seek. The crowd around them murmured. Humans whispered among themselves. Aliens from her escort maintained perfect silence. The governor looked uneasy, unsure how to interpret this unusual encounter. Daniel felt a sudden, strange courage. If you need help, I can try, he said. I'll do my best. Serenia's lips curved slightly, a smile so faint it might have been mistaken for thoughtfulness. That is enough, she replied. I do not ask for loyalty or obedience. I ask only that you consider walking a path with me. Daniel frowned. Walk a path? She nodded. Yes, a path that may challenge your mind, your courage, and even your heart. But I believe you are capable. He hesitated. His life was simple, predictable. He repaired machines, helped his neighbors, and dreamed quietly of adventure. But this was beyond anything he had imagined. A part of him wanted to run, and another part, an eager, daring part, wanted to step forward. Why me? He asked finally. There are many humans. Why choose me? Serenia's golden eyes softened, as if answering that question could only be done carefully. You will understand in time, she said. Not all truths are revealed at once. For now, trust only that your abilities are rare and your character exceptional. Daniel nodded slowly. There was a strange honor in her words, even if he did not fully understand them. The governor stepped forward. Lady Serenia, forgive my interruption, but some among the colony question your choice. Why would a Kalori noble seek a human? Serenia turned her gaze to him. Because humans see the galaxy differently, she said. We Kalori rely on logic, tradition, and order. Humans think differently. They find solutions we would never imagine. That is why I seek one. The crowd ped. Murmurs rose. Humans exchanged amazed looks. The next morning, new dawn buzzed with excitement. Word spread quickly that Daniel Cross had met Lady Serenia, and the colony could hardly contain its curiosity. Markets were quieter than usual as traders whispered about the mysterious alien noble. Children peeked from windows, hoping to catch a glimpse of her silver robes. Even the miners paused their work, glancing toward the landing zone with anticipation. Governor Elias Ward held a meeting in the main hall. Council members, human and alien alike, sat in tense silence. Everyone wanted answers. Why did Serenia choose a human? What did she hope to achieve? Some feared deception, others suspected politics, and a few dared to hope it might mean humans were finally respected by one of the galaxy's greatest powers. Elias cleared his throat. We have called this meeting to discuss the alien woman's request. It is clear that she seeks one among our people. We must proceed carefully, but also understand the honor and danger this represents. A scientist named Dr. Mara Klein, known for her research on alien cultures, raised a hand. Governor, I have studied the Kalori for years. They are proud, traditional, and very secretive. For one of their nobles to come to a human colony, to request an individual, it is unprecedented. There must be a reason. Exactly, Elias said. But what reason could justify this? Outside, Serenia's ship hovered silently. Guards patrolled the perimeter, and drones scanned the colony for any possible threat. Serenia herself remained in her observation deck, watching Daniel as he repaired a malfunctioning drone for the colony's communication network. She did not intervene, did not speak, only observed. She had come a long way, not for riches, nor for diplomacy, nor for power. She had come for something deeper, a debt unspoken, a promise unfulfilled, and a hope that only a human could fulfill. A few hours later, she called Daniel to the ship. He approached cautiously, his mind racing. Inside, the ship was unlike any human structure he had ever seen. Light flowed along walls like liquid, yet it did not glare. The air smelled faintly metallic but comforting. Serenia waited in a circular room, her posture regal but inviting. Daniel, she said, you must understand why I sought you. It is not merely because of your skill or courage. There is history involved, a history that touches both your kind and mine. Daniel frowned. History? Yes, Serenia replied. Long before humans and Kalori knew each other, long before trade or war, your people unknowingly saved my homeworld. Daniel blinked. Saved your world? She nodded, her eyes distant as if recalling a memory. Yes, centuries ago a predator swarm hunted my people, a species of merciless hunters that consume all life. My ancestors could not stop them. Our fleets, our weapons, our strategies all failed. And yet humans from a distant world sent signals across the stars. Simple beacons meant only for navigation, but they confused the swarm, redirecting them away from my homeworld. Your people never knew the impact of their actions, and we never admitted it. Pride would not allow it. But without humans, my world would have fallen. Daniel felt his knees grow weak. He had never imagined humans could have affected an alien civilization in such a profound way. And yet here she was, an alien noble, speaking words of gratitude and reverence. I don't understand, he said slowly. That was centuries ago. How could anyone remember? Some of us did, Serenia said. I was a child when the event was recorded in our history, though my people erased it from public knowledge. But I remembered. I remembered because I knew one day I would need to repay the debt, and when I considered who could help me, I thought of humans. Daniel shook his head. You're saying you came all this way because humans unknowingly saved your planet? Yes, she said simply. And I need your help now, Daniel, because the threat has returned. The swarm is stronger, faster, and smarter than before. My people alone cannot defeat them. But humans think differently. You find solutions where we see only problems. That is why I sought you. Daniel stared at her, overwhelmed. The burden she described was unimaginable, yet she looked at him with calm confidence as if she believed he could rise to the occasion. Meanwhile, in the colony, the council debated. Whispers of history and secrecy spread rapidly. Did you hear? One council member said. The Kalori admit humans saved them? Another shook their head. Impossible. Our records say the Kalori never needed humans. They are too proud to accept help from our species. But she said it herself, said Dr. Mara, and she chose Daniel. She believes humans are necessary, Governor Elias sighed. This changes everything. If the Kalori admit this debt, even partially, it elevates humanity's reputation in the galaxy. But it also makes us targets. If the predator swarm knows we helped once, they may come for us next. Back on the ship, Serenia led Daniel to a small observation deck. From here, the galaxy stretched endlessly. Stars shone like scattered jewels, and distant planets glimmered faintly in the darkness. Daniel, she said, your world has something my people often lack: flexibility, courage, and an imagination unbound by tradition. That is why I chose you. You will see things I cannot see. You will act in ways my people would never consider. And together we may save countless lives. Daniel swallowed. And if I fail? Serenia's golden eyes softened, though her voice remained steady. Then we adapt. Humans are survivors. You understand risk, consequence, and action in ways Kalori often forget. That is why you are here, not as a soldier, not as a diplomat, but as a mind unafraid to find a new path. Daniel's heart pounded. He had never been chosen for anything like this, never trusted in such a profound way. The weight of expectation was heavy, but there was also a strange exhilaration. He felt alive in a way he had never known. Very well, he said. I'll do my best. I'll help you however I can. Serenia nodded. That is all I ask for now. Soon you will meet my people. Some will doubt, some will resist. That is to be expected. But remember, Daniel, even when others doubt, you must trust in yourself. The day wore on, and news of the secret history began to leak. Traders who had seen the ship's lights spoke in hushed tones. Miners who had overheard guards discussed it quietly. Even children repeated fragments of the story, wide-eyed and amazed. By evening, the colony square filled with residents eager to hear Serenia speak at a scheduled gathering. The Kalori entourage remained near the edges, elegant and silent. The governor stood beside her, trying to prepare the audience for what was to come. Serenia's voice rang clear across the square. People of New Dawn, she said, I come not to take, nor to rule, nor to trade. I come to honor a debt long unspoken. Humans, your species, once saved my homeworld without knowing it. And now in a time of great danger, I seek one among you who can help again. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Humans looked at each other, stunned. Aliens whispered among themselves, exchanging puzzled glances. Why him? A miner called out. There are many humans here. Serenia turned her gaze calmly toward Daniel, who stood near the edge, unsure if he should step forward. Because he possesses what I need most: courage, intelligence, and a heart willing to act when others hesitate. He is a human of extraordinary qualities. Daniel felt the heat rise to his face. He had never been praised like this. Yet he also felt the weight of responsibility pressing down. It was no longer a simple life of machines and repairs. He was now part of something far larger, something that could determine the fate of entire worlds. As the crowd dispersed, murmuring in shock, Governor Elias approached Daniel. You understand now why this is serious, he said quietly. I do, Daniel replied, and I'll do my best. Serenia approached, placing a delicate hand on his shoulder. Good, you must rest tonight. Tomorrow we begin preparation. And remember, Daniel, the galaxy does not yet understand humans, but I do. That is why I sought you. Daniel nodded, unsure of what lay ahead, but certain of one thing. His life had changed forever. Above, in the skies of New Dawn, Serenia's fleet gleamed against the stars, silent and watchful. And in the hearts of humans and aliens alike, the story of the debt, and the human chosen to repay it, began to take root. The following morning, Daniel awoke to a strange mix of anticipation and unease. The words of Lady Serenia still echoed in his mind. Humans think differently. You see solutions we cannot. That is why I need you. He had spent a lifetime solving mechanical problems, repairing drones, and tinkering with machines. But now the stakes were no longer personal or local. They were cosmic. The thought that his actions could affect entire worlds was heavy, yet strangely exhilarating. Meanwhile, high above the colony, Lady Serenia convened with her Kalori council. The council members hovered like statues, their golden eyes sharp with scrutiny. Lady Serenia, one of them said, voice crisp and formal. Why bring a human here? Humans are unpredictable. They lack discipline and tradition. Serenya met his gaze calmly. That is precisely why I bring him. Humans see the galaxy without the chains of pride that bind us. They find solutions we do not, and the threat approaches faster than you realize. The council stirred uneasily. Though centuries of Kalori history had trained them to believe in their own superiority, the mention of the predator swarm brought tension. Yes, Serenya continued, her voice unwavering. The predator swarm has returned. They are more advanced, more cunning, and they hunt without mercy. My fleets alone cannot stop them. We need a mind that thinks. After the battle with the predator swarm, New Dawn slowly returned to its usual rhythm, though nothing would ever be the same. Daniel Cross moved among his fellow humans, helping repair damaged drones and machines. Yet everywhere he went, whispers followed him. People stared, unsure whether to admire or envy him. He was no longer just a quiet engineer. He was the human chosen by a Kalori noble. Lady Serenya remained on the colony for several days, observing, advising, and quietly guiding the recovery efforts. Her presence inspired respect and curiosity. Some Kalori council members still whispered their doubts, but even they could not ignore the results of Daniel's strategy. Serenya called Daniel to her ship once more. This time she walked beside him through the observation deck, the stars stretching endlessly beyond the glass. You did well, she said quietly. More than well. Your strategy saved lives, and more importantly, it showed my people that humans are not what they expect. Daniel shrugged. Though pride warmed him, I just did what seemed right. I didn't think about impressing anyone. Serenya smiled faintly. That is exactly why you were chosen. You do not seek glory, yet you act with courage and thought. That combination is rare in any species. He looked at her, trying to understand what she meant. You really believe humans can make a difference in the galaxy? I do, she said firmly. And now my people are beginning to see it too. But that is only the beginning. There is much work to do, and many will doubt us. The Kalori Council may resist, and other threats will come. We must be prepared. The Kalori Council called a formal meeting to review the recent events. Human representatives were present, including Governor Elias and Dr. Mara Klein, though most of the focus was on Daniel. The council members were elegant, statuesque, and intimidating, their golden eyes cold and calculating. Lady Serenya, one council member said, voice sharp, we acknowledge your actions, but I question your judgment. You placed the colony and a human at the center of a military operation. That is reckless, Serenya remained calm. It was necessary, and it worked. The swarm was defeated with minimal casualties, thanks in no small part to the human we chose. Another council member sneered. Humans are unpredictable. You gamble the lives of our people for, what, creativity? Daniel stepped forward, feeling a surge of confidence. I don't gamble, he said. I analyze the situation, look at patterns, and take actions that make sense even if they seem unusual. The Kalori see threats one way, humans see them another. Both perspectives are stronger together. A stunned silence filled the room. For the first time, some council members realized that their pride might have blinded them. Humans, simple, young, and underestimated, could offer something the Kalori had never considered. Serenya's eyes gleamed with approval. This is why I sought him. Not for his strength alone, not for obedience, but for insight, courage, and perspective. We are allies now, and together we are stronger than any threat we face. In the following days, Daniel and Serenya worked closely. They devised strategies to monitor potential threats, improve the colony's defenses, and train small human Kalori teams for rapid response missions. The Kalori officers, initially skeptical, began to follow Daniel's lead. Some even admitted privately that his strategies were ingenious. Do you really trust him? One Kalori officer asked Serenya quietly. I trust him because he does not seek power, she replied. He seeks solutions. That makes him more reliable than many of my people. Daniel, meanwhile, grew comfortable in his new role. He taught Kalori soldiers simple problem-solving techniques, explaining how humans think creatively under pressure. He also learned from them advanced technology, tactics, and discipline that he had never experienced before. Together, they became a formidable team. One evening, while Daniel worked on a fleet simulation, Serenya approached him quietly. Daniel, there is more to your role than strategy, she said. He paused. What do you mean? Trust, she said simply. Trust is rare in the galaxy. Humans often trust each other, even without ceremony or title. My people do not. They judge, doubt, and hesitate. You have something my people lack. The ability to act without fear and to inspire trust in others. That is why you are essential. Daniel nodded slowly, understanding the depth of her words. It was not just about fighting threats. It was about uniting people across species. Humans and Kaylori working together could achieve more than either alone. As weeks passed, the colony began to change. Humans and Kaylori interacted more openly. Trade improved, communication networks expanded, and small cultural exchanges occurred. Humans shared stories, songs, and customs. Kaylori introduced advanced technology and discipline. Both sides learned to respect and appreciate the other. Yet even in these moments of progress, tension lingered. Some Kaylori council members openly resisted the humans' involvement. We do not need humans, one said. They are weak. This colony's safety depends on Kaylori strength, not human ingenuity. Serenia stood firm. Without humans, you would not see the full picture. Without humans, you might fail against the next threat. Trust me and trust Daniel. Together we are stronger. Daniel overheard these conversations but did not respond. He knew that proof, not words, would change minds. And so he continued working quietly, steadily, always seeking the solution that others had missed. One afternoon, the alert system blared. Scouts reported unusual activity on the outskirts of the colony's sector. Strange ships, unlike the predator swarm, were approaching. Daniel studied the incoming signals. They're different, he said. Smaller, faster. Not organized like the swarm, but persistent. We need to prepare, Serenia nodded. Exactly. And this is why we train. Our alliance is more than words. We must act together to protect all life here. The Kaylori officers moved quickly, coordinating fleets and defenses. Humans assisted, following Daniel's instructions. The combined teams executed drills and simulations, testing strategies under pressure. Through the chaos, Daniel remained calm. He directed forces, adjusted plans in real time, and anticipated movements the Kaylori did not expect. Slowly, the alien officers began to see his value firsthand. You were right, a Kaylori officer admitted quietly. Humans do think differently. And it works. Serenia smiled, though she remained focused on the broader picture. Do not mistake success for the end. This is only the beginning. And Daniel, you are now part of that beginning. As night fell, the colony gathered to celebrate the progress made. Humans and Kaylori stood side by side, sharing stories and laughter. Daniel and Serenia watched from the observation deck, looking out at the stars. You've done well, she said softly. You've proven not just your skill, but your heart. That is rare, Daniel shook his head. I didn't do it alone. You trusted me and we worked together. That is what made the difference. Perhaps, she said, her golden eyes meeting his. But you are the one who inspired trust in others. That is why I chose you. That is why humans are essential to the galaxy's future. Daniel felt a strange mix of pride and humility. He had started as a simple mechanic, overlooked and underestimated. Yet now, he was part of a team that could shape the future of worlds. And somewhere deep inside, he knew this alliance, between human and Kaylori, between Daniel and Serenia, would face even greater challenges. But for the first time, he felt ready. The galaxy was vast, full of danger and wonder, but humans could make a difference. And Daniel Cross was determined to prove it, one choice, one action, and one alliance at a time. The stars above New Dawn shimmered coldly, as if the galaxy itself was watching. Daniel Cross stood on the observation deck of Lady Serenia's ship, scanning the horizon with a mixture of anticipation and determination. Weeks of preparation, planning, and trust-building had led to this moment. The next threat was approaching. A fleet of alien marauders, different from the predator swarm, intelligent and well-armed. Their intent was clear: conquer or destroy. Serenia appeared beside him, her robes flowing in the soft air currents. Her golden eyes were calm but alert, scanning the holomaps that floated between them. This will test everything, she said quietly. Your strategies, our fleets, and our alliance. Are you ready? Daniel took a deep breath. As ready as I can be. We've trained, we've planned. Now it's time to act. Good, Serenia said. Then let us show them what humans and Kaylori together can accomplish. Below them, the colony braced for potential attack. Humans fortified structures, set up defense grids, and coordinated emergency protocols. Kaelori ships patrolled the skies, sleek and deadly, prepared to intercept any threat. Despite the tension, there was a sense of unity. Humans and Kaelori had worked together before, and now that trust had solidified into something stronger, mutual respect. Daniel reviewed the incoming fleet's approach. They moved swiftly using advanced stealth technology, trying to avoid detection. They think they can sneak past, Daniel said. But we have patterns. Watch for shifts in their formations. They always reveal themselves at key moments. Serenia nodded. Then we will be ready, human. The battle began as the marauders entered the colony's space. Light flares erupted as Kaelori ships engaged the enemy, while Daniel's human-inspired tactics guided the fleets with precision. Decoys, traps, and rapid maneuvers drew the enemy into disadvantageous positions. Daniel's mind raced. Split the fleet into 3 groups, one to flank, one to blow.